And now to a story News Nation has been following from the very beginning. The nation's highest-ranking Army military officer speaking out about UFOs.
His claims that the United States government has secretly been in possession of alien spacecraft.
The recent unveiling by the Pentagon of previously undisclosed UFO evidence has jolted public consciousness, reigniting debates and speculations about extraterrestrial life and their possible visits to Earth. This video delves into the depths of the revelations, discussing the significance, implications, and the various facets of this groundbreaking disclosure. Historical precedents of UFO sightings. The mystique of unidentified flying objects, UFOs, is not a new phenomenon. While the term UFO became popular in the 20th century, sightings of strange aerial phenomena date back centuries, with ancient civilizations often attributing them to divine or otherworldly interventions. These ancient accounts, etched in scriptures, paintings, and oral traditions, sometimes draw striking parallels with modern UFO sightings, suggesting that our ancestors might have witnessed events similar to what many claim to see today. Moving closer to our era, the late 19th and early 20th centuries witnessed a surge in reported UFO activities. The infamous 1897 Aurora, Texas incident is a prime example. Residents claimed that an airship crashed on the property of a local judge, and among the wreckage was an extraterrestrial being which they subsequently buried in the town cemetery. While such tales were often relegated to the realms of folklore or sensational newspaper stories, they laid the groundwork for the modern UFO era. Post-World War II, the world saw an explosion of UFO reports, most notably in the United States. The 1947 Roswell incident stands out as a pivotal moment in UFO lore. Initial reports suggested that a flying disc had crashed on a ranch near Roswell, New Mexico. The military later clarified that it was a weather balloon, but this incident seeded a persistent belief among many that the U.S. government had recovered extraterrestrial technology and possibly even alien beings. The 1950s and 1960s marked a period where UFO sightings became increasingly common, with many of these events documented by credible witnesses, including pilots, police officers, and even military personnel. In response to the growing number of reports and the associated public interest, the U.S. Air Force initiated Project Blue Book in 1952. This endeavor aimed to investigate UFO sightings and determine if they posed any threat to national security. Over its 17-year operation, Project Blue Book collected more than 12,000 UFO reports. While most were explained as misidentifications of natural phenomena or human-made objects, a small percentage remained unidentified. Governments worldwide had varied responses to UFO phenomena. While some remained silent, attributing sightings to natural phenomena or outright dismissing them, others took a more proactive approach. The United Kingdom, for instance, had its own UFO desk, functioning under its Ministry of Defense for nearly 60 years. The official stance of many governments, including that of the U.S., was often one of skepticism, downplaying the possibility of extraterrestrial origins. This position was driven by multiple factors: the Cold War-era need for secrecy, concerns over public panic, and the genuine scientific assessment that many sightings had prosaic explanations, the nature of the recently disclosed evidence. The revelation from the Pentagon, though long anticipated, was a watershed moment in the annals of UFO documentation. The nature of the evidence provided differed markedly from many previous disclosures, both in content and in the sheer weight of authenticity. The primary element of the newly released evidence consisted of high-definition videos and radar data capturing unidentified aerial phenomena. These videos, taken from military aircraft, portrayed objects that exhibited flight characteristics beyond the capabilities of known, human-made aircraft. These objects maneuvered at speeds, altitudes, and with agility that defied current aeronautical understanding, often without discernible propulsion systems or flight surfaces. The crispness of the imagery, combined with accompanying radar data, provided a compelling case for these objects being tangible and not mere optical illusions or technical glitches. Furthermore, the Pentagon's disclosure came with detailed reports from trained observers, mainly military pilots. Their testimonies described close encounters with these unidentified objects, emphasizing their unconventional flight patterns and speeds that were previously deemed impossible. The lucidity and consistency of these accounts added another layer of credibility to the disclosed evidence. Moreover, some reports also delved into the detection of these objects by multiple sensor systems, ruling out the possibility of singular equipment malfunction or misinterpretation. Comparatively, this disclosure differed from earlier releases in several key ways. Previous disclosures, while intriguing, often came with grainy footage, ambiguous photographs, or anecdotal testimonies. These were easily dismissible by skeptics who cited various explanations, ranging from atmospheric phenomena, camera artifacts, to outright hoaxes. But the recent evidence, presented with the gravitas of the Pentagon's endorsement, was harder to rebuff. The quality of the recordings, combined with the reputation of the witnesses and the corroborative nature of the radar and sensor data, set this apart from most prior revelations. Moreover, a distinct shift was evident in the Pentagon's approach. Historically, governmental disclosures about UFOs have been marked by reticence, ambiguity, or skepticism. The majority of the past releases, such as those from Project Blue Book, often aimed at providing explanations for sightings, emphasizing misidentifications or natural phenomena as culprits. While these projects did acknowledge a fraction of unexplained cases, the emphasis was often on providing reassurance rather than embracing the mystery eyewitness accounts and testimonies. Among the most compelling components of the UFO narrative are the personal accounts of those who have claimed to witness these phenomena firsthand. These testimonies, derived from a mix of military professionals and civilians, offer a human perspective to the often clinical and technical data presented. Military personnel, especially trained pilots, have often been at the forefront of such encounters. Their accounts provide a unique lens, given their familiarity with the skies, their training to identify known aircraft, and their credibility stemming from their professional backgrounds. Many of these pilots have described encounters with objects that defy conventional understanding of aerodynamics. They speak of craft that can accelerate instantly, make sharp directional changes without apparent inertia, and hover without any visible propulsion mechanism. For these seasoned professionals to be awed and occasionally even outmaneuvered by these objects speaks volumes about their extraordinary characteristics. Civilians, too, have been a significant source of UFO reports. From farmers in remote areas to urban dwellers in bustling cities, people from various walks of life have recounted their experiences with the unexplained. While the diversity in the nature of these sightings is vast, certain patterns emerge. Common elements include the observation of disc-shaped objects, inexplicable lights in the sky moving in non-conventional patterns, and on rarer occasions, close encounters with landed craft or even their occupants. The consistency across these testimonies, especially when they come from geographically or temporally disparate sources, adds a layer of intrigue. For instance, the descriptions of the movements and behaviors of these UFOs, such as sudden acceleration or hovering capabilities, resonate across many accounts, irrespective of the background or expertise of the observer. However, the credibility of eyewitness testimonies, like in any other domain, varies. While some are undeniably genuine, stemming from individuals with no motive to fabricate or gain,
we are not alone. A bright, shining object has been filmed hovering in the sky above Falkirk.
Others can be misinterpretations of known phenomena.
A friend of mine had come into my house one evening in 1992 and started telling me about a phenomenon that he had experienced while traveling with his car.
Products of psychological states, or even intentional hoaxes. The challenge, therefore, lies in sifting through these accounts and identifying patterns and consistencies that can withstand scrutiny. Scientific analysis of the presented evidence. The Pentagon's disclosure has naturally drawn intense scrutiny from the scientific community. With tangible evidence in the form of high-definition videos, radar data, and detailed accounts from trained observers, experts from various disciplines have been offered a unique opportunity to examine and weigh in on the UFO phenomena. Regarding the disclosed materials, particularly the videos, several aerospace and aeronautical engineers have remarked on the object's inexplicable maneuvers. The sudden accelerations, abrupt stops, and the ability to hover without any apparent propulsion system are maneuvers that not only defy our current understanding of aviation, but also challenge the laws of physics as we know them. Experts have acknowledged that no known human-made aircraft could replicate these movements, particularly without sonic booms or visible propulsion. Physicists, too, have been intrigued. The rapid movements and sharp turns of the UFOs suggest that they can withstand forces far beyond what any human pilot could endure. This, coupled with their seemingly silent operation and the absence of any exhaust trails or emissions, has puzzled many. The absence of these telltale signs challenges our understanding of propulsion and energy consumption. However, science thrives on skepticism, and there have been experts looking for more conventional explanations. Some have posited that advanced drones or classified military technology could be behind some sightings. Given the rapid advancements in drone technology, it's conceivable that certain maneuvers observed might be achievable. Others have suggested that atmospheric phenomena or optical illusions, perhaps exacerbated by high-speed conditions or camera angles, could be misinterpreted as UFOs. But while such explanations might hold water for isolated incidents, they struggle to address the totality of the evidence. Particularly challenging are the accounts from trained military pilots, who are well-versed in identifying aircraft and atmospheric phenomena. Their testimonies, backed by concurrent radar and sensor readings, make a strong case for the existence of objects that are truly unidentifiable by current standards. Then there's the realm of more speculative science. Some astrophysicists and cosmologists, while maintaining a careful distance from affirming any extraterrestrial origin, have acknowledged the potential for life beyond our planet. Given the vastness of our universe, with its trillions of stars and potentially even more planets, the mathematical possibility of other intelligent civilizations cannot be entirely discounted. Could these be probes or reconnaissance missions from distant civilizations? While this remains firmly in the realm of speculation, it's a question that's begun to transition from the pages of science fiction to genuine scientific debate. Beyond the physical sciences, into the broader human response to these sightings. Some experts suggest that our cognitive biases can sometimes see patterns or significance in random or mundane events. The rarity and inexplicability of UFO sightings can be a fertile ground for misinterpretation, driven by our innate need for meaning and understanding, government response, and policy implications. The aftermath of the Pentagon's disclosure was met with a tidal wave of reactions, not just from the public and the scientific community, but from the very echelons of governmental power. The response of the government post-disclosure and the subsequent policy implications have proven to be as intriguing as the evidence itself. In the immediate aftermath, there was a palpable shift in the tone of official communications.
Excessive classification practices keep crucial information hidden. Since 2021, all UAP videos are classified as secret or above. This level of secrecy not only impedes our understanding, but fuels speculation and mistrust.
Historically, the government's stance on UFO sightings and encounters veered towards skepticism, often dismissing them as misidentifications, atmospheric phenomena, or at times even hoaxes. But with the weight of the evidence presented, the discourse shifted to a more neutral, investigative stance. Government spokespeople, while refraining from sensational claims, acknowledged the unexplained nature of the sightings and emphasized the importance of understanding potential national security implications. One of the most tangible outcomes was the call for increased funding and resources dedicated to investigating these phenomena.
About the pressure mounting for more transparency on the possibility of UFO sightings in response to that News Nation exclusive report.
Proposals were made to expand and enhance radar and tracking systems, especially in regions with a high frequency of reported sightings. Additionally, there was a push for more collaboration between civilian and military agencies, fostering a more transparent and cohesive approach to data collection and analysis. Public communication underwent a significant evolution. The days of dismissive explanations seemed to be behind, replaced by a more informed, open dialogue. Briefings and press releases began to include experts from various fields, from aerospace to astrophysics, aiming to provide a multidisciplinary perspective on the findings. The intention was clear: to approach the phenomenon not as a matter of mere curiosity, but as a subject deserving rigorous scientific scrutiny. Policy-wise, one of the most notable shifts was the destigmatization of UFO reporting within the military. In the past, pilots and servicemen were often reluctant to report such encounters, fearing ridicule or professional repercussions. Post-disclosure directives were issued encouraging military personnel to report any such encounters, assuring them of confidentiality and emphasizing the importance of their observations in national security assessments. Internationally, the disclosure had its reverberations. Calls for a coordinated global effort to monitor and study these phenomena gained traction. Some nations proposed the creation of a joint task force, pooling resources and expertise to understand the global scale and implications of these sightings. The sentiment was that the UFO phenomena, if genuine, was not limited by geopolitical boundaries and warranted a unified international response. Another intriguing policy implication was the debate over airspace control and defense mechanisms. If the skies were being frequented by objects that could outmaneuver the most advanced military aircraft, what did it mean for national defense? Questions arose about the readiness and capability of existing defense systems to detect, track, and, if needed, engage with these unidentified objects. Lastly, the disclosure prompted discussions about the broader implications for humanity. While it's a leap from unidentified flying objects to extraterrestrial civilizations, the gravity of the evidence led to some policymakers pondering the what-ifs. If these were indeed indications of extraterrestrial life, what would be the protocols for engagement? How would such a revelation impact global unity, geopolitics, and humanity's understanding of its place in the cosmos, global reactions, and diplomatic dynamics? The Pentagon's revelation, though fundamentally a U.S. disclosure, rapidly permeated international borders, instigating a diverse spectrum of reactions and catalyzing novel diplomatic dynamics. Many nations reacted with a mixture of astonishment and curiosity. Countries with their own history of UFO encounters and investigations felt vindicated, while others found themselves reassessing previously dismissed or overlooked reports. There was a unanimous acknowledgement of the seriousness with which the U.S., a global superpower, presented its findings. This in itself pushed the discourse from the fringes of popular culture to mainstream political and scientific conversations across continents. European allies, such as the UK and France, with their own extensive archives of UFO reports, were among the first to express interest in deeper collaboration. Their reactions highlighted a desire for shared understanding and joint research endeavors. Many European nations proposed pooling data, sharing technological resources, and organizing symposiums where experts from various fields could share insights and theories. In Asia, countries like Japan and China, while initially cautious in their official statements, expressed a clear intent to monitor the situation closely. Rumblings from behind closed doors indicated an uptick in their own internal investigations, possibly re-evaluating any anomalous aerial phenomena observed within their airspace. Russia's response was particularly intriguing. Historically tight-lipped about its encounters, there was speculation about the extent of its knowledge and any parallels with the U.S. findings. While official statements were measured, Russian experts and former military officials began appearing in media, sharing previously undisclosed encounters and emphasizing the importance of international cooperation. In the Southern Hemisphere, nations such as Australia and Brazil, both with rich histories of UFO sightings, sought a more active role in the emerging global dialogue. Brazil, in particular, with some high-profile UFO cases in its past, called for transparency and an international consortium to study these phenomena without the constraints of national secrecy. Indeed, the diplomatic arena witnessed a burgeoning sentiment for collaboration. There were calls, both formal and informal, for the establishment of an international body or coalition dedicated to the study of UFOs. The logic was compelling. If these phenomena were genuine and not confined to one nation's airspace, then understanding and addressing them required a global effort, unhindered by traditional geopolitical rivalries. Moreover, with the U.S. disclosure, previously held secret documents or findings from other nations began to see the light of day.
UAP are in our airspace, but they are grossly underreported. These sightings are not rare or isolated, they are routine.
Countries started declassifying and releasing their own archives, contributing to a more comprehensive global picture. This spirit of openness, however, wasn't just about transparency. It was also a tacit acknowledgement that no single nation had the answers. Yet, not all reactions were straightforward or cooperative. In some quarters, skepticism prevailed. Nations with strained U.S. relations speculated about the timing and motives of the release, wondering if it was a diversionary tactic or an attempt to overshadow other global issues. Diplomatic corridors buzzed with theories, counter-theories, and a fair share of intrigue, societal implications, and public sentiment. The unveiling of the Pentagon's evidence wasn't just a turning point in government policy or international diplomacy. It reverberated profoundly within the societal fabric, touching every nuance of popular culture and deeply held beliefs. The immediate and lingering aftermath saw a whirlwind of reactions, ranging from affirmation to skepticism, wonder to apprehension. At the forefront was the undeniable influence on popular culture. Television and film, already no strangers to extraterrestrial themes, saw a resurgence in UFO and alien-related content. However, the tone notably shifted. Gone were the days of purely speculative fiction. In came a new wave of documentaries, interviews, and dramatizations grounded in the disclosed evidence. Mainstream media outlets dedicated significant airtime to the topic, with expert panels, eyewitness interviews, and investigative specials becoming regular features. Books, too, saw a surge in UFO-related publications. Not just sensational accounts, but serious explorations that delved into the history, science, and potential implications of the disclosure. The world's literary appetite was piqued, and both fiction and non-fiction authors rose to the occasion. The world of music wasn't left untouched. From chart-topping hits to indie compositions, artists expressed their fascination, fears, and theories through melodies and lyrics. Art installations, both physical and digital, took inspiration from the disclosed videos, recreating them or offering interpretative takes. A profound shift was evident in public sentiment. Previously, admitting belief in UFOs or extraterrestrial life was often met with skepticism, if not ridicule. Post-disclosure, such beliefs began transitioning from fringe to mainstream. Polls indicated a significant uptick in the number of people who believed in the possibility of extraterrestrial life or that the government had previously hidden evidence of such encounters. Social media platforms were abuzz with discussions, debates, and shared experiences. Communities that had once been niche found themselves swelling in numbers, their theories and interpretations no longer relegated to the shadows, but thrust into the spotlight of global attention. Yet, not all responses were celebratory or awestruck. For many, the disclosure brought about existential crises. Religious institutions faced challenging questions about the existence and nature of extraterrestrial life. While some religious leaders and theologians saw no contradiction between faith and the potential for life beyond Earth, others grappled with interpretations and doctrines, seeking ways to reconcile age-old beliefs with this new revelation. Influential figures, from scientists to celebrities, weighed in on the debate. Renowned astrophysicists and cosmologists spoke of the vastness of the universe and the mathematical likelihood of other civilizations. Philosophers pondered what such a discovery meant for human identity and our place in the cosmos. Even celebrity culture wasn't immune. High-profile figures shared their personal UFO encounters, further fueling public interest. Educational institutions, too, adapted to the heightened interest. Universities began offering courses on astrobiology, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, and the science of UFO investigations. Schools saw a surge in student interest in space and astronomy-related subjects. It's worth noting that skepticism persisted alongside the wonder. Many cautioned against jumping to conclusions, emphasizing the difference between unidentified and extraterrestrial. Debunkers and skeptics had their platforms too, dissecting the evidence and proposing alternative explanations, potential motives behind the disclosure. The monumental weight of the Pentagon's disclosure left not just lay people, but also analysts, politicians, and strategic thinkers pondering one pivotal question: why now? The timing and reasoning behind such a game-changing revelation became subjects of intense scrutiny, fueling speculations and theories about potential motives. At first glance, the disclosure appeared to be a straightforward act of transparency, a move by the government to share with its citizens what it knew about a matter of potential national and global significance. This perspective gains weight when considering the increasing pressure from various quarters over the years, from investigative journalists to former military personnel, all calling for more openness regarding UFOs. However, such an optimistic view of governmental candor might be seen as overly simplistic, especially when placed against the backdrop of the intricate labyrinth that is U.S. political and defense strategy. Some analysts posited that the disclosure could be a calculated move to divert attention from other pressing domestic or international issues. By unveiling such a tantalizing mystery, could the government have been attempting to sway public attention or even global narratives? Another theory revolved around technological showmanship. The disclosed encounters, particularly those involving military pilots, highlighted the advanced aerial capabilities of these unidentified objects. By revealing these instances, the U.S. might be signaling its technological awareness, if not prowess, to its global competitors. It's akin to saying, we're aware, we're watching, and we're on the cutting edge of understanding these phenomena. Such a move could be seen as a subtle show of strength in the arena of aerospace and defense. Economic factors couldn't be ignored either. The defense and aerospace sectors are significantly influential in the U.S. economy. By igniting public and global interest in unidentified aerial phenomena, there could be potential boosts in funding for research, technology development, and defense projects, leading to economic stimulation in these sectors. On a more global scale, the disclosure might serve as a diplomatic chess move. If other nations also possess similar evidence or knowledge about UFOs, the U.S. taking the lead in disclosure places it in a position of narrative control. It shapes the dialogue, sets the tone, and potentially nudges other nations to follow suit in a manner that aligns with the U.S.-led discourse. There was also the human element to consider. Over the years, numerous military personnel and pilots had come forward with their accounts of UFO encounters. These testimonies, often released unofficially, ran the risk of painting a picture of governmental secrecy or even incompetence. By officially disclosing these encounters, the government not only validates the claims of its servicemen, but also reasserts its position of being in control of the narrative. Challenges in authenticating UFO claims. In the intricate dance between belief and skepticism that has long surrounded UFO phenomena, one challenge consistently takes center stage: the authentication of claims. As stories of unidentified flying objects punctuate history, the quest for concrete evidence remains fraught with hurdles. This chapter dives deep into the complexities and nuances that make discerning fact from fiction an intricate endeavor in the realm of UFOs. At the very core of the challenge is the nature of the evidence itself. UFO sightings, by definition, involve phenomena that are unidentified and often fleeting. Witnesses, even trained ones like military pilots, have limited time to process and record what they observe. Their accounts, while invaluable, are based on human perception, a factor that can be influenced by lighting conditions, distance, personal biases, and even excitement or fear. Adding to this is the proliferation of advanced consumer technology. In the age of drones and sophisticated digital editing tools, distinguishing between a genuine UFO and a man-made object or digitally manipulated video has become increasingly difficult. An innocent, remote-controlled drone or a balloon caught in peculiar lighting can easily be misconstrued as something more mysterious. Conversely, genuine footage can be dismissed as clever computer graphics, further muddying the waters. Then there's the historical weight of hoaxes. Over the decades, numerous UFO claims have been debunked as deliberate fabrications. These hoaxes, often sophisticated and attention-grabbing, have cast shadows of doubt over genuine sightings. Every new claim carries the baggage of past deceptions, facing heightened scrutiny and skepticism. Environmental factors, too, play a significant role in complicating validation. Natural phenomena such as ball lightning, lenticular clouds, or even the planet Venus in specific atmospheric conditions have often been mistaken for UFOs. To the untrained eye, these can appear anomalous, lending themselves to extraterrestrial interpretations. An additional layer of complexity arises from the multidisciplinary nature of UFO investigations. Authenticating a claim often requires expertise spanning several domains: aerospace engineering, atmospheric science, optics, psychology, and even astrophysics. This multifaceted approach, while thorough, means that findings are often contingent on collaborative interpretations, each with its own set of uncertainties. State secrecy and defense considerations further compound the challenge. Many reported UFO sightings occur near military installations or are observed by defense personnel. Given the sensitive nature of these locales and the potential implications for national security, there's often an inherent hesitancy, if not outright resistance, to disclose full details. This veil of secrecy can obscure the path to authentication, leaving researchers with incomplete data and the public with unanswered questions.